Thanks for your company. The details now. Ghana has begun 7 days of mourning in honor of late former President, Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings. Mr. Rawlings died on Thursday at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital after a short illness. President Akufo-Addo has ordered all flags must fly at half-mast. Since the news broke, tributes have been pouring in from his family, close friends, and associates. There's more in the following News Desk report.
It's a moment for reflection and for continuing to believe in his purpose, that he has a purpose for each one of us. And as it appears, the former president's work here on earth has come to an end. He and I had a tempestuous relationship.
A statement issued by the president said J.J. Rawlings died at 10 minutes past 10 a.m. at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Head of our health desk, Fred Smith, was there.
Okay, today happens to be a very sad day, the demise of our former president, Jerry John Rawlings. And then number two, we all are planning towards this coming election, December 7th, thinking that we are all going to be one and then electing the next president of this country. And we may say that may he rest in perfect peace. But what I do remember very well, or what I'll be missing about the former president, is his words of probity, accountability, and then those words, the boom and stuff. But we say and we celebrate this day in a very sad way, but we also say that
all political activities have come to a standstill, especially for the two major parties.
Obuasimu Yante Asemde. We just received some very sad news. It makes it impossible for us to continue this campaign tour of Ashanti. So I've spoken to our chairman of the National Campaign Committee, and the committee has agreed that we announce a brief suspension of the Ashanti campaign tour.
President Jerry John Rawlings was a colossus in the political history of Ghana, and we are so shocked, very shocked, to hear of his passing. And because of this rally, the Deba that we had planned cannot take place. Please all understand that where we are in Ghana now, our state of mind, our collective state of mind, for 7 days, for the next 7 days, there will be no campaign activity. This is what the president has declared. So the state of Ghana now, our collective mindset, we are united in our mourning for the loss of our former president, Jerry John Rawlings.
Former Minister of State and campaign chairman of the NDC, Professor Joshua Labi, says the man JJ discovered him.
He was going to appoint me Foreign Minister. I also sent a word back to him to make me Deputy Minister because I was young and I needed to learn from somebody. Rawlings said no, I should tune my mind to it and that I'm capable of doing it. And truth is, well, he didn't change it and made me a Foreign Minister. So I can say Rawlings unearthed me and developed me.
He wasn't the only one. Minority leader Haruna Idrisu shares his encounter with the former president.
I believe it was my place at Lagos when he was coming to a particular program. That is when I got closer. I got much more closer to him, particularly when we formed the youth forum after the defeat of the NDC in the elections of 2000.
Abdul Malik Kwekubako, one of the avid critics of the late former president, said even though he had issues with his politics, Mr. Rawlings was a fine personality.
Look, no human being should wish death, even its bitterest enemy. Never. Sincerest condolences and agreement. He's human. He had a very fine personality. There's no better from the interest in perfect peace.
He was married to Nana Kunedu Ajman Rawlings.
Get it?
5 years.
5.
When she master the current,
Outside, left for school and come back.
That's when she finally.
One Saturday, with a gang of friends, when we went to their house, and I sent for her. I didn't think she would come, and she did. And I saw her. She had mellowed, my bro.
And left behind 4 children. Rawlings was authoritative, controversial, and for many, a superhero. But he was also simply human.
Her 3 daughters, Zanetta Rawlings, who is
Christianize me if you may, but don't try to Europeanize me.
And President Akufo-Addo says he's extremely disturbed and saddened by the death of former President Rawlings, who he describes as a man of vitality and dynamism. The founder of the opposition National Democratic Congress was last seen in public on October 19 during the final funeral rites leading to the burial of his mother, Victoria Abutui. The family of the former president was at the Jubilee House Thursday night to formally inform the president of his passing.
A great tragedy has befallen us as a country and as a family. Some 4 weeks ago, we were here to inform the presidency of the death of our mother, our grandmother, our sister, and the president, because of his special love for the ex-president, the former president, assisted us a lot in the burial of our mother. Just some few weeks or some few days after the burial, the former president, Jerry John Rawlings, fell sick and was hospitalized. A lot of efforts were made. I know the president was in touch with his brother. Little did we know that the former president will leave us. So we've come here formally to inform the president and the entire government that this is what has happened. It is true. Jerry John Rawlings is no more. And we deem it appropriate to come and inform you officially.
In response, the president said he was yet to come to terms with the demise of Mr. Rawlings.
I find it hard up to now to really incorporate, assimilate the information. There's a man of great vitality, dynamism and energy. It's very difficult to conceive of him as a dead body lying in a morgue. But then, I think one of the things that all of us have got to get used to is that the Almighty has His own plans for each one of us. And improbable as some things may be, nevertheless they happen. it's a moment for reflection and for continuing to believe in his purpose, that he has a purpose for each one of us. And as it appears, the former president's work here on earth has come to an end.
President Akufo-Addo also recounted their love-hate relationship.
He and I had a tempestuous relationship going over many, many years. But I believe that we came to see value in each other. That's how I put it by the end. Extremely disturbed and saddened by his passage. He's not an ordinary Ghanaian. He was the first president of our Fourth Republic, a man who held the supreme office in Ghana, and therefore his passage has to be a matter for the Ghanaian nation. I know the feeling of family on such an occasion, but I think that you would understand if I say that on the death of such a man, precedence has to be given to the state of Ghana. So the Chief of Staff, their office, will be in touch with Colonel Abutri and the family, and Akonedo Ajimai Rawlins, for us to agree on how we proceed. Time for funeral, all those things have to be agreed upon, but that the state has to pull out all the stops and make sure that he's given a most befitting and dignified exit. I'm determined to do that. I think his contribution to this country's history is there for all to see.
Let's head now to the residence of the former president. Benjamin Akakpo is there for us. Hello, Benjamin. What's happening?
Well, thank you very much. Not too much activity here when it comes to family members actually trooping in, but at least we, as you can see, the main entrance of the residence, a very heavy security presence here. It has been that way since the early hours of the morning, and there's been no interaction so far. We've just been able to get some snippets of information from the likes of the Volta Regional Chairman of the NDC. I'm talking about Brigadier Ametefe, who shared some thoughts on the personality of former President Rawlings. He was calling him a man of honor, a man of discipline, a man of dignity, and that indeed we ought to do more for him beyond a state burial. He has called on the fact that we can't use this as a political statement, that is the state burial, that the state must actually immortalize the man Jerry John Rawlings. We've also seen the likes of former National Security Coordinator Gbevlo Latte, Larry Gbevlo Latte, show his face here. He has not interacted with us yet, but if you look to my left, there are some family members who have been trooping in, and they are waiting basically for around maybe in about half an hour for other family members to come through. There apparently is a head of family who's going to come through and who's going to be interacting with the rest of us. It is suggested that when this personality comes through, he may be coming with family members, the inner circle of former President Rawlings. So we are all awaiting that. But that is what is going on here so far. Some prominent members of the NDC have come in so far, like I indicated earlier, the Volta Regional Chairman, Brigadier Ametefe, together with Bevelo Latte, who have also been here. So those are the scenes here. We're still awaiting the family so we can discourse with them on how activities will be going. But I also earlier interacted with some members of this household. Now you would notice that right adjacent the office cum residence of the former president, there are some apartments, if you like, over here. I interacted with two of those members here, and they shared fond memories of the former president. They may never have got to meet him face to face, but they said that he was a man of honor, that he was someone that they would remember. They shared very fond memories of him. So that is what is going on so far here with regard to the residence of the former president. We're just awaiting the arrival of the family.
We've received word from our presidential correspondent that President Akufo-Addo will be visiting the family house later today. But Benjamin, before you go, tell us if you've been told what's actually happening inside the home. Is there what we usually have, a regular sit-in where the family is ready to receive visitors? And do we know if any close family relation, and I mean the nuclear family, his wife and children, are at the residence?
Well, that we cannot establish currently. All attempts have been made to interact with some of those entering the residence, even the security personnel, but no one has been willing to, divulge any information. But as long as we've been here, we've not seen any member of the nuclear family of the former president entering the premises thus far. It is hoped that in the next few minutes, in the next half hour or so, we'll begin to see some of those in the inner circle trickling in.
Right. Thank you very much, Benjamin Akapo. We'll leave it here for now, and hopefully when there's an activity at the residence of the late former president, we'll take our viewers live there. You're watching News Desk with me, Bernice Abubedu Lanza. Let's now get some reaction from Jalukope, which is in Keta, and that's the former president's hometown.
Okay, today happens to be a very sad day, the demise of our former president, Jerry John Rawlings. And then number two, we all are planning towards this coming election, December 7th, thinking that we are all going to be one and then electing the next president of this country. And we may say that may he rest in perfect peace. But what I do remember very well, or what I'll be missing about the former president, is his words of probity, accountability, and then those words, the boom and stuff. But we say and we celebrate this day in a very sad way, but we also say that
the news about the demise of our former president, Flight Lieutenant J.J. Rawlings, has come to me as a very big shock, and I'm really devastated. Especially because he's my godfather, my mentor, because he trained me and so many other cadets. I was trained in Cuba and America through the tutelage of Rawlings, and I'm very, very sad this man has left us just too soon. We were expecting that he would be alive and witness the results of this 2020 elections, but God knows best. But I remember Rawlings for so many things, especially the way he was able to bring Ghana back from economic depression back on its feet. In 79 and 81, the economy of Ghana was so bad. But when Rawlings came to power, finally in 81, he was able to bring Ghana back on its feet. And one thing I like about him is that he was not selfish, and he was able to return Ghana to democratic rule. And he has set a lot of examples, leadership by example. He sent us to the forest, to the bush, to bring local cocoa to the city, to the harbor to be exported. He took us to the gutters, to desilt and clean the cities. He was able to send electricity to the northern part of Ghana, which many people thought would never happen. He made so many things good for the masses of Ghana. And since the inception of the Fourth Republic, there has never been any coup d'etat in Ghana again. So Rawlings was...
What I can remember is he had a picture with Rawlings. He had a picture with Rawlings which goes viral. So it has been like they've been close. It has been one-on-one encounter. So that brought some kind of connection. So hearing the news earlier today in the news has brought a kind of shock to everybody and me as a person. So it is
me the winter Alabanca 1991-92 football me no okatamula evai but me anti never the side jeji akara
You heard some residents of Jolukopa there in Keta sharing their thoughts about the former president just after news broke of his death on Thursday. Let's speak to our correspondent there, Ivy Setoji. I can't imagine the mood in Keta today. Ivy, tell us where you are and what's happening there.
So the residents of Keta, even those in Ho, are not in good mood. They are sad about the happenings, what happened yesterday. You know, the story or the information came as a shock to everyone in the region, especially the Keta area. People were hoping that he was going to stay at least until the elections are over, but that was not the case. So this has been a shocking news with the death of the former president, whom they described as Akovia or Yovuvia, the son of the star. People had this personal attachment with him when he was alive, and so as to say, people are so shocked at the death, at his death, and really do not know what to do. Some don't even believe, even though they hear it on radio and see it on TV, but they are yet to come to terms with the reality.
And tell us about his interaction with the people. When was the last time he visited the place, if you are aware? And do the people know him to be somebody who used to come there often?
Yes, of course. You know, Papa J, as they always refer to him, normally go to the voters, especially to say that you always find him there. He likes interacting with the people personally. He chats with them like he's a member of the place or a son of the store. So people, you realize that this is a man who has that connection with his people. And so he was very friendly. You see him and he wave you, talk with you, chat with you, and that was how the man was. And so this according to the residents, it's a very great loss to them in the area.
Thank you very much. Ivy Setoji is our Volta region correspondent there, talking about the fond memories residents of Jolukopa, Keta, and the Volta region at large have of the former president. And indeed, many have spoken about his very lovable nature and how they really are going to miss him. But let's go back, bring you back here in Accra, where we've been speaking to some persons who are trooping into his residence.
They are underprivileged, and that thing will continue to linger on until generations yet unborn. He was able to restore the dignity of Ghanaians. That even in the 70s, if you are a policeman or soldier, people even pour toilets or even urine on people in the Makola market because they don't value the uniform they wear as a symbol of honor for this country. But because of Rawlings coming to power, there is dignity of labor, there is dignity for the military, dignity for the security services, and that is all that he institutionalized. And I'm saying that particularly for the state institutions to do their work, it was Rawlings who introduced it. Now things are getting bad. Certain institutions that are supposed to deliver justice to the people, you see there are so many things happening. Can you imagine courts were collecting money at that time, judges were collecting money? It is because they did not uphold the probity and accountability as enshrined in our democratic value. These are the things that we can only remember him. And I want to say that if this government want to immortalize JJ, they should restore all the celebrations that he has started as a way of remembering the good thing he had done, rather than just saying that state barrier, even the state barrier must be defined properly, because JJ's role with the masses must be factored in the celebration. Otherwise, it will be a bourgeois-led state barrier, and the masses will not be happy. This message must go to the President of the Republic, that if he does not know that taking advantage of this funeral.
That's Brigadier Amatafer, retired, and he spoke to us earlier when he visited the residence of the late former president. A great loss indeed. But my colleague Manuel Cranting has also been getting reactions from the popular Rollins Park in Accra.
Well, so still reminiscing over the loss and in fact the shock that the nation has been sent into. A lot of people are brooding over the demise of the former president Jerry John Rawlings. While his lovers, his admirers, his supporters, even critics are all shocked about the death of the former president. Well, here at the Rollins Park, which sits at the center of the Makola Market, which indeed, resides in the heart of the central business district here in Accra. But this location has quite a checkered history, moving back into how it got to be named as a Rollins Park. We'll try and speak to a few of the people here, drivers, passengers alike, and then also even some of the market women here who, are just hearing of the news of the former president's death.
2 weeks non le wegbu e wo muso ehia wodu adenche
atia kembiake to feton to onu news ete
inu akashi nkabie ntabie onkan sister ngbasa ina oni inu aka sensu akashi o ake wonu kwa egbo nike o me wonu pa ake Rollins ke Tesota Rollins gbo ake we egbo ndi ake be wale lo shimo na je mo ko ya mo ho no ni ba ntabie mi jo eson ni chopo bom mi gba mo no insane nimba ngmesa nimba kashi nimba kochofo nimba kashi fio eja kashi inu shishi no me woni inu shishi e bi enu oyo acho bi Rollins Park no me won yeme ke bi e afun me bi e kani shine ba bi eleba clear bi e fen wo fen wo ba na bi enu wo tani wo na egbu emusu ehami wa ajenche ya ke chen
wo ko shike abiake mini niji nokoni noko kadiko meni ka che Rollins be Ubakai.
Makaya ke no me chuchuwe akeka ya mama ko ta mama Africa block shueshi ni ko te ko block benaka mama otawo shinmene ni Rollins ba wo he mama free wo ya ko ganch konshika ni mi ya he mama kani nya unyo free no me wo bi ye we no me beli wo ya school we abaja wo pencil ajawo wolokani bi fen wokamani
mitia na mami me misu mi control kra mantema ye kuma kra fiti and the park cry. I'm very sad cry because I really love that man so much, so I was so sad.
How do you remember the former president?
Oh, I remember him during the time that he was in power at the seas of March at the Independence. The way he used to stand on his feet about 1 hour. The way he was doing the things. I always remember him. The way the man is very hard. A very hard person. He doesn't take nonsense. I like the way the man is always active.
Me wanna go so afraid me say ya papa ba kwa free mo eye me ya because papa no dey oye good ye nyina ya papa ba ko pe me nya shock because na me ngin this no one wa free mo intimity ye na mpa dey to be frank me ya pa because ye nyina kwa ye be ko inti na me fa ni crancy baby papa my.
We'll pick more reactions to the death of the former president, and this one you're going to see next is from Reverend Father Campbell. He is one about how a relationship, or he talks to us about how a relationship that started in 1980 helped to lay the foundation for the lepers aid. Father Campbell, who expressed shock at the news of the death of the former president, tells JoyNews Latif Idris about his first encounter with him and also talks about fond memories.
And we greeted each other. So when somebody mentioned this morning, I couldn't believe it. So I was really shocked at the hear of the death of this wonderful person. So I've known him for a long time. I've known him since 1980, when I met him long time ago. And over the years I got to know him because of my work with the lepers and work with the Children's Hospital and work with the needy. And he was always there to support me, always. Whenever he was always there, ready to support me and help me in every way. So I must say I've lost a good friend, and I'm really sad to hear of the death of our dear brother, dear J.J. Rawlings.
How would you also remember him in the space of the political environment? What would you say is the role he played to shape, the political structure of Ghana? I
think the man was a disciplinarian. He had his views. Whether you liked him or not, he had his views, and he was a disciplined man. And that's what I liked about him, that he kept his views and he lived his views. So I must say, for that, I will always remember him. And he was also one who he always encouraged me in my priesthood, always encouraged me in my work with the lepers and with others. After a sermon, he'd come and say, Father, thank you for your wonderful words, thank you. So his compassion, his discipline, this is what I liked about him.
For the lepers aid, let's look at the lepers aid. What role would you say he played to build the foundation of what you have been championing over the years?
He always gave me the encouragement. He always supported me. Always there ready to support me in every way he could. He was there behind, because it wasn't easy. You look, working with these people are forgotten. He was always there to support me and don't give up, carry on, whatever way possible. So he was always there as an encourager in the difficult task I had of looking after these marginalized people. And he was always there to say, you're doing great, keep it up.
How would his death affect the political climate going into the December 7th elections?
Well, I'm sure now everybody will be really shocked. They'll be shocked to hear of this news that now we're going just a short time away will be an election time. So I know everybody will realize we've lost a good friend. We've lost a good friend, and all we can do is to pray for him and ask God to grant him eternal rest.
So are there any fond memories you have with him?
Yeah, I remember a very fond memory of JJ. The Catholic Church in Accra was celebrating its 100th anniversary, and we celebrated with a grand mass at Independence Square. And he was the head of state at the time, and he was invited.
Which year are we talking about?
We're going back now many years ago, the head of state, when he was head of state, before he left. The Catholic Church was 100 years old then, here in Accra, just in Accra here, not in the rest of the.
Okay.
And he was the head of state then. And I remember that morning I was up very early, very, very early, and I had to rush to the Independence Square to put up all the canopies and put out the chairs and the tables. I had to rush home, had a quick bath, and I was shaving and I cut myself. And I can remember when I got to the square and we had to meet JJ and with a little girl and flowers. And at that stage, I thought my face was okay, because when I shaved myself, I cut myself. And as soon as he came down from the car and he came over to me, he says, "Hey, Father, you cut yourself shaving this morning." And I said, "Oh my goodness, is it that obvious?" And we laughed about it. That's, he was human in that sense. And I must say that it touched me that he could see this. And there was some blood on my face. It was a fond memory I have of him.
Okay. Thank you.
More reactions. The next one you're going to see is coming from Supreme Court Judge Yoni Kalendi.
Is to have a lunch with
which is physical with attendees, and that will be essentially by invitation.
Right.
And then there will be invitees who will be connecting virtually.
Right.
Originally, a date, time, and place had been set, but given where we woke up to find ourselves in the history of the nation, His Lordship the Chief Justice has suspended an announcement of the date and place to abide the plans and that would follow from this colossal loss that has just hit the country.
Indeed.
And I guess it is customary and only proper that he does so. And so the date will be announced in due course. But he thought that it was still appropriate to go ahead to indicate the pendency of the material, but also more importantly to use this opportunity to convey his personal sympathy to the family, to the nation, and as well as that of the entire service.
We'll be bringing you more right here on the death of former President Jerry John Rawlings. Let's now bring you tributes from some members of the National House of Chiefs who spoke to JoyNews.
I might say I'm devastated throughout the proceedings. In fact, I was not even concentrating. I wish it's not true, but you can see the news being filtering in. It's happened, and to be honest, I'm shocked. I'm shocked, and that is all that I can say for now.
I heard it hasn't sunk in yet. I just have to go and talk to my people. It's a sad day for Ghana. We need all to mourn for him.
Oh, very shocking. Very shocking. I'm sad.
May his soul rest in peace. And Daryl Kwao is here with business news. He's got some tributes from that sector.
Surreal, isn't it? Well, tributes keep pouring in as we mourn the passing of the former President Rawlings. Ghana's trading community has been doing same. Let's hear from the president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Dr. Joseph Obeng.
On behalf of the trading community in Ghana, I wish to extend my heartfelt condolences to the family of the former President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings, on his departure from this earth early hours of today. It saddens our heart to lose such a great leader. He was a people-centered leader who protected the vulnerable. He worked hard for his nation, transformed from military leadership into the democracy that we are enjoying today. We will always remember this great leader. May his soul rest in perfect peace.
So what was Rawlings' economic legacy? Let's pull up some graphics. We have some things to show you. We can talk about the Economic Recovery Program created in 1983. The program which saw the devaluation of the exchange rate and increment in real interest rates, so prices of goods and services would be stable. The program was also aimed at reducing the fiscal deficit sufficiently to eliminate the need for printing money and to free the economy, including the foreign sector, by encouraging markets to function. And we can move on next and talk about Vision 2020, that initiative that was supposed to help Ghana achieve a middle-income country status and improve the standard of living. And those were the bloom years of the Asian tigers, and upstarts like Ghana looked at Southeastern Asia with envy. In other news this morning, the National Health Insurance Authority, NHIA, is enhancing its claim payment processes with the introduction of 2 electronic claims management systems. The claim IT software and online credentialing application are expected to ease the means through which service providers submit claims to the NHIA. There's more in this report.
According to the NHIA, the level of indebtedness to healthcare providers has reduced significantly. Kwejo Chineboa is the Ashanti Regional Head of the authority.
As I speak to you, NHIS has paid most of our providers up to April 2020, and some have even gotten up to May and then June. I think this is a remarkable experience because for some time now, I think that previously over the years, NHIS was so much indebted to our providers, and we see that as more or less having a toll on them because they are not able to put in place all the necessary logistics and whatever they need to attend to our members.
The National Health Insurance Agency, NHIA, is embarking on a massive registration to rope in 4 million people onto the scheme. Under the theme, NHIS leaving no one behind, the agency is working with stakeholders to achieve this target. To fulfill the government's digitization agenda, the NHIS mobile renewal service has been introduced to ease the hassle of joining queues in the offices. Management of the NHIA has also waived the 1-month waiting period on new registration and renewal of NHIS cards during the ongoing NHIS Week celebration.
The main focus of this celebration is to increase our membership by 4 million. And we are going to do this by embarking on massive registration in various communities, church premises, formal institutions, any identifiable groups. We'll set up our machines at their premises and make sure that we're able to enroll as many as possible people onto the NHIS.
Identifiable groups, churches, communities, and institutions have been targeted to achieve its goal. Mona Lisa Frempon reporting.
And that's it for business. The news continues after this break.
We continue eulogizing the late former president, Jerry John Rawlings. But here's one interesting thing today, quickly, on our tech news. We're going to talk about how the internet has preserved the things he's done in the past, and it helps us remember him more. Spiky. Interesting, isn't it?
It is. And, you know, we've always said the internet doesn't forget. And it's a great thing that the internet doesn't forget sometimes, because then it helps us, you know, keep all these memories of our special people who are special to us. And it's also amazing how technology allows us to digitize old content. So, you know, videos from the 50s, 60s, 70s right now can be digitized so we can see them now. We can collect all these things, keep them so they're available for us and the generations that would come after us to see. I think it's a brilliant thing.
It kind of immortalizes us. So
exactly.
I mean, that's the interesting thing about this. So how does one preserve, you know, the things they've done so generations, you know, to come will know them even so many decades or centuries after?
Sometimes you don't even have to do it yourself. People do it for you. For instance, I was searching for my late dad on Google, and you wouldn't believe how many blogs and stuff that I saw mentioning him. So someone may blog about you. Someone's probably posting about you, taking a picture of you right now on TV, and saying, oh, I love how Dennis is talking about this right now, and then puts it out there. Next time you go on Google, you search for yourself, and you see all that content that's still there. So, and then you can also actively do that on yourself. Either upload this content to YouTube. That's what vloggers do. Vlog everything they do. You can put it on a blog, on your social media. All that helps you not be forgotten. And he was a public figure, so you have journalists all around the world, photographers, international photographers, and everything. Everyone taking pictures of him and uploading. So all that stuff stays on the internet and helps us remember him.
And you know, just the thought of it is exciting, because when someone dies, they're mute, they can't speak. So you cannot relive those moments unless you have something that has captured us. And this is one of the positive things about the internet. Thank you so much for bringing us that. And that's how we end today's edition of News Desk. Coming up shortly is JoyNews Interactive with Mapito Sibili. Don't forget to stay with us. We'll take you to the family, or the residents, I beg your pardon, of the late former president. We understand President Akufo-Addo will be heading there. Also, we understand that the presidential candidate for the NDC will also be going there. So do stay with us here on JoyNews, your most credible news source.